Did you ever wonder why the phrase career politician is a bad thing? I mean, no one ever says someone's a career teacher or a career nurse. And if they do, it's certainly not meant as derogatory. So what's wrong with having a career politician? Well, plenty of research shows that the more time Congress spends in session, the more money it spends, and the longer and more complex laws become. Congress, well, it's been around a long time. And the current Congress is amongst the oldest in history. The average American is 20 years younger than their representatives. In fact, there are 44 districts where the age of the representative is more than double the median age of their constituents. When that happens, you wind up with representatives who are simply out of touch with the electorate. But you know the most important thing about being a career politician? It means your number one priority is staying in office for as long as you can. Not getting things done, but getting reelected. You focus on raising money for re-election and courting corporate donors. You're afraid to challenge the status quo. And your ideas, they get stale. The congressman in my district, for example, is a 30-year incumbent. That makes him the 17th longest-serving representative out of 435. In the 30 years since he took office, a lot has changed. We went from fax machines to emails and the internet, from cell phones the size and weight of a brick, to smartphones that have more computing power than NASA had to put men on the moon. And to really put things in perspective, in that same 30-year period, the Yankees won 5 World Series, the Giants won 3 Super Bowls, and the Rangers won a Stanley Cup. And the Mets and the Jets, well, they came pretty close. But in the 30 years my congressman has been in office, he has passed a total of 17 pieces of legislation, 6 of which were to name buildings. And unfortunately, he's not alone. We have too many people in Congress who've spent their entire career in the Washington bubble. And as an institution, Congress gets, well, stuck, which is what we have now. You know, we weren't even supposed to have full-time politicians, let alone those who'd been there for life. Our founding fathers envisioned that being a member of Congress would be a part-time job. Back then, farmers would literally leave their fields and go to legislate in Washington. Otherwise, they feared legislators would come to rely on politics as a career, which would compromise their independence. So true. Serving in office should not be a lifetime job. When George Washington voluntarily stepped down after 2 terms as president, he showed that no one was irreplaceable. Democracy only thrives with turnover and new thinking. Members of the House of Representatives should serve no more than 5 terms. A decade is more than enough time in that role. We deserve new leadership that will breathe fresh ideas into our stale democracy. That's where I stand on this issue. I invite you to join us as we work to fix our broken democracy. I'm Jonathan Lewis, and I'm running for Congress.